VB Touray, and I am chilling. It's Sunday afternoon, not even evening, Sunday afternoon or early evening, and I am chilling in and preparing for what what soon will take place in 2 weeks or less, actually 11 days, 11 days, and that is the test or the evolutionary she weekend Idlewild retreat that will take place in Idlewild, Michigan. If you've never been to Idlewild, Michigan, hello to all who have joined me. Thank you for taking this time out for information. If you don't already have it, right? Hello on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. So again, I am Vivi Dre, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about our SANKOFA Women's Retreat that will come up on the 26th to the 28th of this month. This is our annual. If you don't, let me just tell you a little bit about TESS if you don't know what TESS is. TESS is the evolutionary she, which is formerly known as the Wonder Woman Breakfast Club. We've been in existence for about 6 years now, right? And we are, our thing is to do women's empowerment events. And that may look like a, afternoon brunch. It may look like outing. It may look like a retreat. And this will be our second. So this will be our second retreat in Idlewild, and our fourth, I believe, retreat as a group, a weekend retreat as a group. So I'm super excited about it because we haven't, COVID stopped us and kind of backed us up from doing some things that we really like to do. One being getting together and enjoying each other. This kind of, COVID kind of put a stop to that. But, and although we're not completely done with all of that, we do have some space to kind of come back together safely, right? When we do that safely and enjoy each other. So again, I'm happy to say that our Idlewild retreat is coming up on the 26th to the 28th. Thank you so much for those of you who are joining. Please share this with others, because I have, as of right now, maybe one and possibly two reservations available for this event. But I am looking for like-minded women who need what the SANKOFA retreat has to give you. Okay. So the title, the name of the event is, of course, the test or the evolutionary she Idlewild weekend retreat. But it's not only the Idlewild weekend retreat, but it is the SANKOFA weekend retreat. Our theme is SANKOFA, and there's a reason for that. So I'm not sure how much you know about SANKOFA, or I'm sure some of you have probably seen the SANKOFA bird, right? And maybe you know a little bit about the SANKOFA bird, but just to give you an idea of what the SANKOFA bird is, I'm going to read straight from the internet, right? So it's Googleable. SANKOFA is Googleable, but let me just read a couple meanings so that you know exactly what we're talking about when we talk about SANKOFA. And the theme of this retreat is SANKOFA. So the SANKOFA symbol, I wish I had one. I may be able to share my screen and share one with you soon. But you know what? Matter of fact, let me just do that. I think I can just share my screen and just read with you on screen. So let me see if I can do that. If I'll be allowed to do that. Let's see. If I pick up a Chrome tab, I think I found it. Okay, here we are. So SANKOFA is a word from I believe it's a Twi, it's pronounced Twi language of Ghana, meaning to retrieve, right? And also refers to the Bono and Adinkra symbol, represented either with a stylized heart shape or by a bird with its head turned backwards while its feet face forward, carrying a precious egg in its mouth. So let me go back and do that again, because I think that's really important. Okay. So let me just, from the beginning, SANKOFA is a word in the Twi language of Ghana, meaning to retrieve. And it also refers to the Bono Adinkra symbol, represented either with a stylized heart shape or by a bird with its head turned backwards while its feet face forward, carrying a precious egg in its mouth. Isn't that interesting? Talk about symbolism. Okay, so if you haven't seen that, it's a beautiful it's a beautiful artistic piece. And so you see it now right on the screen. Or maybe you cannot see it, of course, over on Instagram. You can certainly see it if you are following me on YouTube or on Facebook. But that is the theme of our event. So let me just read this piece for you and then we'll get out of this, right? Sankofa is an African word from the icon. I hope I'm saying that correctly. If not, is there anybody in here from Ghana can help me by correcting me? I don't have a problem with that. Akan tribe in Ghana. The literal translation, now here we go, of the word and the symbols is it is not taboo to fetch what is at risk being left behind, right? Another one that I really like, I saw somewhere, I said I was gonna be done, but I saw another meaning definition that I really like, and that's it here. Let me just right here, and it's at SANKOFA for the Institutional Office of Equity and Inclusion, and it says, this is the one that I really like. Please show up. Hey sis. I don't know those people, but they just look like somebody I want to know. Let me see. That's not giving it to me fast. I want it fast. Give it to me fast. Anyway, it's right. I see it right here, but I don't want to go through all of that. And it says, go back and get it. It translates to go back and get it, right? So that would explain this bird, right? With his head turned this way, his feet turned forward, right? Go back and get it. And whatever it is they got, I'm assuming that's a precious egg that is in its mouth. That is the theme of this event, right? So the point of it is, let me just explain this to you. The point of it is, would have an opportunity. The point of this particular event, or theme, of this event, is for us to have the opportunity to go back and get something precious from your past that you can use or that is beneficial for you going forward, right? So many of us have things, and that's male or female. So many people have things in our past that we kind of run from, and don't think about the fact that those things that are in our past can be very beneficial to us, because everything happens to us, of course, happens for a reason. Now, I know it doesn't always feel that way. And it's not always comfortable, things that we experience in our past, but this is the truth. This is the truth. Anything that happens to us can be used to help move us forward. I do believe that. Regardless of how painful it is, regardless of how shameful it might be, I do think that everything that happens to us can be used as a catapult to move us to a better position or to take us in a new direction, if that makes sense. So on this trip to this Sankofa themed trip in Idlewild, the importance of that theme is twofold for me. One, because again, Idlewild, Michigan is a very prominent, it has some very, very prominent memories, right? And history, a very prominent history for Black people in the Midwest and from those around the world. Because if you don't know about Idlewild, you should Google it. Because Idlewild, Michigan, matter of fact, my understanding was the movie that Andre 3000 and Big Boy did, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but it was set back in like 1920s and 30s. And Big Boy was the son of a moonshine maker, a hooch. His daddy or his granddaddy, he was the bottom of an empire that was kind of like a hooch empire. And that, of course, was before Prohibition, when you weren't supposed to be drinking, right? And it was illegal to drink. And at the same time, Andre 3000 was going to be, his people were undertakers in this particular movie. I cannot think of the name of it. If anybody can, please let me know. Share with me the name of that movie. But in that movie, my understanding was it was actually not set in Idlewild, Michigan, but that Idlewild, Michigan was used as inspiration for the setting in this movie. Beautiful things happen in Idlewild because it was a resort town and is slowly becoming that again. But it was a resort town for Black people. So when there were, of course, a lot of Black in this area, in the Midwest that were here, whether they're working in the plant or around the plant, the majority of them working in the plant or around the plant, right? Were automotive workers in some way or another. But when they moved here to work at what we call Generous Motors, what was called Generous Motors at the time, there was some income, for extra things for because they were making a lot of them more money than they ever imagined or ever made before, right? So a lot of those people that moved to this area, and I'm talking about, the Black community in particular right now. I know that happened for others too, but for the purpose of this conversation, I'm talking about people in the Black community. Those in the Black community that moved to this area had some extra income because they came here from the South, primarily, and were able to get their hands on more money than they had before. So they took that extra income, and everybody didn't buy cars, just line up cars in their driveway. Although some of us did, some of them did. There are others who brought property, and one of the places that Black people could go and buy property for their getaway was Idlewild, Michigan. And because Idlewild, Michigan was primarily owned by Black people, and the homes, the properties were owned by prominent Blacks, and so many, then it became a hub for the literary arts movement. It became a hub for politicians. So lots of huge names. It was a part of the Chitlin circuit. So as different entertainers were traveling all around the world, going different places, it came to Idlewild to play in the fabulous, I believe it was, one of them was Rooster Tail, I believe it was, restaurant. There were lots of bars, restaurants, or not lots because it was a small town. There were a few bars, restaurants, and hotels, motels, where they came and they played, and there was a thriving community. Of course, with the downsizing of the automotive industry and recession, that kind of thing, lots of Black people lost their homes or let them go. It didn't transfer them to their generations like they should have, right? Maybe because they didn't know, maybe because, I just believe a lot of because they didn't know what to do, right? So a lot of that was lost. But for the past maybe 10 years or so, there has been a revival of people, of organizations, of businesses that are going back to that area with the express intention of building that area up again, right? So the Evolutionary She Idlewild Weekend is a part of that, right? That's the reason we're there. We're there to participate in the get back, right? We want to participate in the get back at Idlewild. We want to participate in the comeback at Idlewild. Also, there's, and I want to talk particularly about, specifically what we may want to go back and get, as individuals during this retreat. But I also want to say there's plenty of opportunity also for purchase of land and property in Idlewild at this time. And I do have a plug. So if you're interested in doing something like that, we can talk about that when we're there. Maybe we can even introduce you to some folk that I know can make that happen for you if you're interested in that. Meanwhile, this conversation is supposed to be about those who are interested, who are thinking about, who are contemplating, who are turning over the idea of joining me for this weekend on August 26th to 28th. I want you to be there. I want you to be there. I want you to experience, I think there's something to say about geographic areas too, right? I do think that there's a certain, how can I say it? I don't want to scare anybody, but I do think that there is certain energy, there is certain blessing, there is certain enhancements that reside in certain geographical areas. I believe that. I do believe that. And I believe sometimes when you want to get a hold of something, or you want to shake something up, you want to release some things in the atmosphere, in the spiritual realm for you personally and for those around you. Sometimes I think it's necessary to move. You don't necessarily have to move your home. Not necessarily. Sometimes that's necessary too. But I do think that it's necessary to move sometimes, to shake things up, to get into a different environment. Because once you get into another environment, things change for you. You know, the response for women in particular, because that's who I'm talking to right now, your responsibilities change. And when your responsibilities change and you have less responsibility, you can think, right? You can receive, you can, let's just say think, because that's enough. Sometimes you can't even think. So much going on around you. You have so many people pulling on you, so many people expecting you can't even think. So I do think that's why I don't think people understand, or I don't think a lot of people understand this. That's why vacation is so necessary. A lot of us don't vacation. We just keep working and keep working and keep working and keep dying and keep dying and keep dying. And people are dying all around. We still talking about, I gotta go to work. And we do have to take care of ourselves. But nothing is created in our lives that we don't create for ourselves. So it's up for us to create what we need, right? So if we all have to work to bring money in, we also have to make a place. We have to make intentionally set a space for your reset. You have to do that. If you don't do that, I mean, what is it all for? What is it all really for if you spend all your time working and working and working and you never get a chance to even sit back or take a breath? You understand? So this weekend gives us an opportunity to do that. I'm talking to the ladies, of course. It gives us an opportunity to do that. And I think that I know we need to do that to be healthy. We need to do that for our minds. We need to do it for our bodies. We need to do that. And so that is what will take place on August 26th to 28th. It is a great time. It's a beautiful space. It's a private home. We are in a private home owned by someone I know privately, so it's not on the market. You can just go on what do you call it, Airbnb, and get it, because they don't rent publicly. They own it privately. But it's a beautiful sprawling home that is located on Lake Idlewild. It has a wraparound back porch that opens right up onto, or I should not porch. It's a deck. It's a party deck actually that opens up onto a barbecue pit and what do you call it? The thing where you do s'mores and stuff. That pit, and then you walk right out into Idlewild Lake. That's the most exciting part to me, I think. There's also a huge, a really large screened-in porch where there are games. There's a hammock. There's a bar. There's a dining room table. I mean, it's a beautiful screen. So you can spend all night outside in the screen porch if you want to. It's absolutely beautiful. It is really beautiful, and it's serene. That's the biggest thing. It's serene, right? So I want you to join us. If you have not contacted me and you're not currently on the list to go with us August 26th to 28th, please get in contact with me. I will give you my phone number and I will put it in the chat right now. So my phone number is 248-250-3766. Call me if you're interested in going, or if you know somebody. Listen. If you know somebody, this is for the gentleman. Gentlemen, you know some woman that needs to be on this trip. Send her on this trip. Send her on this trip. Give her an opportunity to go back and get something that she might need. So let's talk about that. 11 days to SANKOFA. That's the title of the feed, right? 11 days to SANKOFA, or we can say it like this: 11 days to this opportunity to go back and get what you need to move forward effectively. I like the way I said that. 11 days until you have the opportunity to go back. That's the SANKOFA piece, right? To go back, to rediscover, to excavate, to find something in your past that you can use to move forward more effectively. That's what the SANKOFA trip is about. It's about uncovering whatever needs to be uncovered so that you can move forward most effectively, right? That you can use that thing to move forward most effectively. So internally or spiritually, that is the purpose of this particular, or that's the theme of this particular event. But the other piece is we're doing that in a geographical area. I think that is very important because we're doing that in Idlewild, Michigan, where there is a super rich history. Do you understand what I'm saying? a super rich history that speaks to the efforts and the abilities and the creativity of African Americans. So if we get an opportunity to go back and look at that, if we get an opportunity to go to Ottawa, put our feet on the soil and rediscover, excavate, right? Dig up those memories, those ideas of that same spirit of creativity, and that same spirit of ingenuity, and the same spirit of just create. The word that keeps coming to me is creativity, creation, right? The ability to create. Then we can use what we can pull from our past to move forward more effectively. Does that make sense? So that is what SANKOFA is about. That is what this retreat is about. Twofold. We're going to do personal excavation, personal rediscovery, so that we can use all that we have to move forward effectively. And then we're also going to do it in the geographical area, because that same energy, that same vibrance, that same spirit, those same spirits, it's the same thing we need to be able to move forward as effectively as we want to move forward as women, as individuals. So I'm really excited about this. I'm really looking forward to what is going to take place in Idlewild, Michigan, August 26th to 28th. The price, the total for attending is well, I think I have, like I said, 1 to 2 in single beds. That's $400. So if you are interested, or if you know someone interested, please send them my way. If you want to bless, gentlemen, you want to bless somebody with a trip to Idlewild, and I'm sure you should, because somebody, if it's not your mother or your wife or your sister or your girlfriend or your daughter, I know it's somebody in your life that needs a weekend away from you. I know it is. I know it is. So be a dear, right? Be a dear. Bless them. Bless the lady in your life, Bless the lady in your life for that 3-day weekend in Idlewild, Michigan, August 26th to 28th. Get at me, 248-250-3766. And again, those of you who are headed that way, what will you go back and get? That's what I want to know. What do you plan to go back and get? That's what I want you to start pondering, if you haven't so far. Start pondering what you plan to go back and get that you can make useful in your life moving forward. What thing? Is it a stoppage? Is it a gift that you have that you need to rediscover, you need to uncover? Anita Holden, hey boo, long time since I saw you or we talked. She said the name of the movie was, okay, see, I didn't even remember the name. It was Idlewild. I didn't even remember that. So she said the name of the movie with Big Boy and Andre 3000 is Idlewild. If that's the case, or since that's the case, I don't think it was actually set in Idlewild, Michigan, though. But my belief is that, no, I'm sorry, I don't think it was actually, I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say, I don't think it was actually done in Idlewild, Michigan. I don't think it was filmed in Idlewild, Michigan. But I could be wrong. I don't know. It's probably, I'm assuming it was a Hollywood set. But my understanding is Idlewild, Michigan was definitely an inspiration for the movie. Thank you, Miss Anita Holden. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So what will you go back and get? What thing in your life, ladies? What thing in your life do you need to spend some time rediscovering? What thing in your life do you need to spend some time finding the worth in it? Sometimes we see things a certain way, but just a different perspective will give you something different. Just seeing it from a different perspective sometimes can give you some insight that you didn't originally have. So as we prepare for this trip, I want you to think about that. Just start thinking about that. What is it that I need to go back and get? What thing is of value to me, even if you didn't see it as value before? Even if that thing in your life you didn't see as valuable. If you turn it another way, if you look at it another way, if you allow somebody else to help you examine it, you may find that it's more valuable than you think. Okay. So yeah. Now, I'm in my own head, like, hmm. So that's what I want you to think about. Think about that as we prepare to make this exit to Idlewild, so that we can wake up in the morning on Lake Idlewild, which is absolutely breathtaking. It really is. I don't even like water that much. I like water, but not, when I see huge bodies of water, typically I'm like, oh Lord, that's too much water to drink. Mm. But Idlewild is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. When we were there last year, we were outside at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, barbecuing and playing the lake at 1 o'clock in the morning. But it was like the moonlight was beautiful. It was beautiful. The weather was beautiful. And last year, I think we went a little later than we went this year. So I'm really looking forward to it. Call me if you, again, 248-250-3766. Call me. Okay, I'm reading Anita Holden. She said, my understanding is that Idlewild was a resort and playground tailored to us, for us, by us, unless. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Anita. That is exactly what it was. I am a part of Zeta Phi Beta, Greek organization, and we do have a house there. One of our sorors bequeathed a house to the organization, to the sorority, and we have a house there that was, my understanding is she purchased it, I believe it was like 1927 or something like that. But it's just been refurbished. It's beautiful, and it's on Lake Idlewild too. So yeah, it was part of the Chitlin Circus, Anita. And that's what, every time I go, I'm just I'm just I'm just always, I can't even speak sometimes, because I'm really just imagining and trying to imagine what it must have been when, and there is, proof of what I'm getting ready to say. But I'm always trying to imagine what it must have been like when the literary giants like Maya Angelou and Amiri Baraka, Barak, and what's her name? Oh, Alice Walker, and all those great, writers and performers were there, right? They gathered there. They had uh artist events on Idlewild, and that the politicians, we talk Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and all of them actually hung out in Idlewild, because that's where everybody was. So when when there was a holiday or what have you, that's where they went. When the jazz singers and stuff were traveling through the area, well, as a part of the Chitlin circuit, they couldn't always go, to some of these major places, but they always had a place to play on Idlewild. So if you can imagine, when I'm sitting in the cottage where we're going, I always get up early in the morning and sit on that the back porch. I keep saying porch, but the deck. And I just sit and imagine what it must have been like. What it must have been like. And I try to get quiet and kind of hear what I can hear, because you never know who or what might be speaking. You know what I'm saying? So join me for that early morning coffee, because ain't nothing like it. Early in the morning, sitting out there looking at that water, looking at that sunshine come up on that water, and knowing that whatever goodness is in that area, whatever creativity is in that area, whatever creation, whatever abilities to create, while a lot of those people may be physically gone, everything is not gone, right? So there's plenty to glean from the area. That's my point. So I am going back to get what I need to move forward most effectively, because I know there's something there, and I want to go back and get it. So I am inviting you to join me. And again, if you cannot, fellas, send somebody you love that deserve it. Send somebody you love that deserve it. So if you have any questions, any other anybody want to say anything, you can go ahead and do that now. Ask the question that you have, or Anything you'd like to say? We can do that really quick. And other than that, I'm gonna get out of here in 2 to 3 minutes and shut this down. But I just want to please share this with as many people as you can. I gotta get out of saying that. Please share this feed with as many people as you can, or as many women that might be interested, or brothers that might be interested in sin and blessing the woman in your life with a 3-day weekend. I have, I think, one, maybe 2 beds left. I have some ladies that I'm waiting on just today, so we'll see. But you deserve it. She deserves it, right? She deserves it. And if you listen to me, you deserve it. But if you don't know you deserve it, you need to figure it out. Because you deserve to sit on water, drink a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, and not have to do anything for anybody but yourself, at least for 2 to 3 days. All right. So I can be reached again at 248-250-3766. That number is in the chat. You can also get me at my email account. And I am putting it here. That's vbtouray@gmail.com. You should see something there. Of course, we have to get the payment as soon as possible because the deadlines are passed. But I do not want to. I want to take as many women with me that again are like-minded. I know need this. I know need the experience. I know how hard it is to break yourself out of a mold. Once you're into doing things a certain way, sometimes you need somebody like me to come and shake you and say, hey, you need a break. Because I remember when I worked a 9 to 5 myself, that's what I needed. I needed somebody to come in and get in my face and say, hey, what are you doing? You're not going to be here forever. Life is short. And if we never knew life was short, we know now. We definitely know now because the way people have, I don't have to say it. I do think that this generation, we've experienced more death than we probably ever will in our lifetime again, and probably more than our parents and at least our parents' had witnessed, right? So many people that we've lost but it's enough that should be a constant reminder to us that tomorrow is not promised. It's not. So treat yourself. Do for you, but ain't nobody else gonna do for you. Because ain't nobody else gonna do for you necessarily the way you're gonna do for yourself. So share this feed with somebody. Join us on August 26th, 28th. I am thankful to say that I'm going to I have intentionally partnered with 2 other ladies who also are entrepreneurs. One is Corey Howell of Savvy Meal Solutions. I'm not worried about any food this time, and this is the first, right? She is taking care of all food. I'm not worried about any food. That's all taken care of. And typically, when we do the events, I'm running around three days in advance, making sure that I got everything that we need. But I don't have to do that anymore. Thank goodness, right? The lessons, I am still doing some of the lessons, but I also have someone else who's going to join me, and that is Miss Linda Miller of Refreshing Ministry. So I'm really excited about that because she's going to do some of the activities and the meditations, and then I will do my things well. But we're going to have a great time. We check in on Friday, right around 5 o'clock. We're going to have dinner. We're going to laugh and talk and have drinks if that's what you do. And if not, that's fine too. But just we're gonna have recreation. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna laugh and talk and just enjoy each other. I'll leave it at that. Saturday morning, we sleep in a little bit, and then we have our regular event that looks like what used to be the Wonder Woman breakfast event. So we have activities, we have talks, we eat, but at the weekend events like this one, we will cook brunch together. Yes. I appreciate you locking me out. All right, I'll be down in that 1 second. I'm on live, but give me 1 second. I'll be right down. Oh my God. Give me 1 second. Did you hear how she hung up on me? They think because they're 18, they can get a whooping. Yes. Yes. Anyway, we get up on Saturday. We do brunch. We have our event. We do our brunch together. We cook our brunch together in the big kitchen. That is probably my favorite part of everything. We have that late afternoon to early evening to do whatever you want to do in the area. And there is plenty to see in Idlewild. So you got time to do that. Saturday night, we have dinner together at a local restaurant. After that, we do more of the stuff we did on Friday. And then we get up Sunday, come together for our meditations and our wrapping it up. We wrap it all up and then send you home on your way, put you on the highway with your continental breakfast. So we're excited to do it again. Join me August 26th to 28th for the Evolutionary SANKOFA Idlewild weekend. Call me if you got questions and join me. You deserve it. You deserve it. And if you can't come, or you won't come, send somebody who needs to come. Okay. All right. Y'all have a good one. Love y'all. Looking forward to seeing you at Idlewild weekend.